SpaceX has three distinct revenue engines running simultaneously right now. So the first one is launch services. They have a near monopoly on commercial and government payloads, all right? NASA and DARPA, D-A-R-P-A, private satellite companies. All of them are all lined up to ride the SpaceX rockets because nobody else can compete on price or reliability at this level. So second one is Starlink. This is one that changes everything. Over 6,700 satellites already in orbit, millions of subscribers globally. Revenue estimated at $6 billion annually and growing. They're bringing broadband internet to places that have never had reliable connectivity, all the way from places in Africa, places in America, South America, maritime, shipping routes, military operations. And third,